Hi everyone, this is Zubin Vevaina from A to Z Graphology. Before I start off with today's topic, I would really like to thank you all for responding to my videos, and your suggestions are really helpful. I'm not very good at making videos and I've got a very limited skill in terms of video photography, but I hope that the knowledge what I'm trying to explain or trying to share with you has started to impact your life in a better way. Whatever I'm going to explain to you further on in the next videos or in the previous videos which I have already recorded is just an expression of knowledge which I've had since many years. Yes, I do teach this professionally, one on one, in person and online. I will be sharing the links below on how you can connect with me, and if you would like to learn a little more in depth about what I'm going to teach you, then please do let me know and contact me as soon as you are willing to learn. Okay, so today we are going to learn about the letter I. Let's change perspective and have a closer look of how the letter I affects the mindset, or how the mindset represents itself in the formation of I. The small letter I represents that mindset that deals with a pure ability to take. When we draw the letter I and we are having a sort of a formation here, this small letter has got two parts. This is called the line or the vertical stem, and this little dot actually is called tittle. Tittle. In graphology, we are going to study this and this together, and we'll come to know how they complement each other. The letter I is the most simplest formation in the English alphabet. It just consists of a line and a dot. The line represents pure taking. Now, the reason why it represents pure taking is because it goes downwards. If by chance you have a letter I that goes upwards like this, okay, this upward motion of the letter I would represent pure giving. Now, why is it called pure? Is because there's no directional change. There's only one direction in which the I is going. It's either downwards or upwards. Mostly in our kindergarten years, or when we were studying about how to write the letter I, we were taught to write the line downwards. This represents a mindset that is involved with pure taking. In the sense of pure taking, let's give some examples. You've gone to a shop, you've paid the money, and now you just have to take that item and go. You've uh, g- come for dinner, you just have to go and eat your dinner. You have to take it purely. Whatever aspects are there in life that involve taking, that is seen in the letter I. This line, the straighter it is, shows the person's ability to take in a very pure and unhindered manner. When the person has an eye like this, okay, now he is having another stroke. While he is having this stroke also, the downward one, he is also having the upward stroke. If this letter I is written as the first letter of a word, then this starting stroke, this upward stroke, is going to have a pre-thought effect. Pre-thought effect means that the function of this I will have a pre-thought. The function of I has the mindset of taking, and this stroke here, this extra one, shows that before he takes, he wants to have a giving mindset. This I actually shows a person who is trying to be cultured or trying to be a bit more courteous even when he deserves to take something. Like a child going to eat his dinner, he's going to take his plate of food and he should just directly eat. But This extra stroke helps him to acknowledge other people around him. He asks other people to take food, and he has a courteous nature even while he should be just taking. So these people are a bit direct in the way they're supposed to take things, but it's not really a bad thing. It depends on your situation and your society. In fact, the way the cursive handwriting is being taught is so that we developed a courteousness in nature. If you've seen the old English movies, you'll understand that a person who is in the high class society, even at dinner time, there are a lot of formalities before they actually start the dinner. There's a glass of wine, then there's a starters, and then actually you come down to eat food. So before the actual activity of eating, there's a pre-thought, there's a pre-activity happening here. This eye shows that the person is courteous before he receives something which he is supposed to take. This person shows that he would like to take it directly. A bit of mannerism can be seen here, a bit of directness can be seen here. Now, what would happen if a person has a looped formation in this eye? A looped formation of the eye without the dot almost looks like a squeezed E. In the previous video, I had taught you about a letter E and how it looks when it is squeezed. The loop of the E when it is squeezed and the loop of the I without a dot, they almost look similar. So now what happens is we are losing the factor of taking and there's a loop coming here. There's a creativity developing in this I. This person, when he's supposed to simply take what he's supposed to have, this person is trying to be creative. Now, this leads to a complication where the person would like to have more than what he should be taking. If you're having dinner and there are two dishes that you can have or three dishes you can have, this person would just sit down with his plate, take the portions, and get on with eating. This person, however, would always wish for something more. He would like to have something extra. If, let's say, he is having a bowl of soup, he would like to have some crackers with it, some cheese, or some crispy toast. So there's always something extra that this person wants. Now remember, in all the letters that I have taught you, and in these letters which I'm going to teach you ahead, there's nothing really wrong in this formation. But if this person is, let's say, in the navy, or if he is in a boarding school, then it's a bit difficult for this person to simply take what is given to him. There's a argument always going on in his mind about how he can take extra or take less. Now let's understand what the dot means and how important this dot really is and why the I exists with the dot. In handwriting, we've got a couple of zones. There is the middle zone. This is the middle zone. Anything that goes above this is the upper zone, and anything that goes below this is the lower zone. Now, when we write a letter I, the stem of the I is in the middle zone, but the dot or the tittle goes here in the upper zone. This actually represents a moment of thoughtfulness while taking. Now, there are two ways to think about it. Do you write the I line first and then the dot? So, this is 1 and this is 2. Or do you draw the dot first and then the line? The dot represents thoughtfulness. So, in this scenario, the person is actually taking and then being thoughtful. Here, the person is being thoughtful and then taking. This fine analysis, this fine observation can actually make handwriting analysis a bit interesting. Now, when you receive a sample, it's difficult to understand which was written first or which was written second. So, if the person is in front of you right now while you're doing the handwriting analysis, you can ask him to write the letter I again. Give him a word that has the letter I, like the word initial or India or um, instinct, any word which has the letter I, and just see whether he draws the line first and then the dot, or the dot first and then the line. So the stem deals with taking and the dot deals with thoughtfulness. If the dot becomes a circle, then it shows that this person likes to expand his thoughtfulness. He is a bit creative in the way he is being thoughtful. And the way he is being thoughtful is shown in the way he wants to express his gratitude or thankfulness, or it could just be a courteous gesture. We have understood the dot, we've understood the line, we've understood what happens when the person makes a slightly circular dot. We've understood the timing and the sequence of the dot and line. Now let's go a little deeper into this subject and see what happens if the dot of the I is right above the line, is slightly higher than the line, or is very much far away from the line. In the next one, we will see the horizontal positioning. Just now, we'll just focus on the vertical positioning of the letter I. This first case is where the person is putting the dot very close to the line. In this scenario, what's happening is that the person is able to put the dot exactly over the line because it's very close to it. This actually signifies fine movement of hand. Fine movement of hand is required when you're stitching or when you're knitting, if you're using a microscope, if you are doing some engraving, or if you're a craftsman that has to do small details on a craft item, or even artists. These people have fine movement of hand and they prefer to do that activity or that kind of work that requires this fine movement. So if you're a scientist, a biologist who uses microscopes quite often, or if you're in the chemical laboratories and you have to mix the chemicals very carefully, then this sort of a dotting actually represents the ability to have fine movement of the fingertips. The next one is where the person somewhat has a balance between fine movement and coarse movement. These people are able to balance out fine movement like using microscopes or knitting needles, or they could also play cricket. They can use the badminton racket very well while playing badminton. They can play hockey. They can even manage their hand coordination while cooking. So coarse movement is where we find this sort of a dotting where the dot is very far above the line. The chances of a dot being exactly on this line is lesser as the dot goes higher. The dot coming on top of this shows that the person is more involved with coarse movement of the hand. Means that he wants to have a hand movement that does not require fine movement. Like example, let's say you're playing badminton. You can hit the shuttlecock at the center of the racket or slightly at the side of it. Even then, the hit happens. While you're playing cricket, if you hit the ball at the edge of the bat or in the middle of the bat, yes, it does make a difference in the way the stroke happens, but there is a coarse movement of the hand. You can't use this sort of movement or this sort of nervous coordination in this scenario. So if you just come back from playing football or cricket, or you've been extremely busy whole day, and then suddenly you go in front of the microscope and you want to start using it very finely or started to do knitting, then what's going to happen is that you're going to have a shaky hand kind of a situation. This is about vertical positioning of the letter I and its dot. Now we'll go to another example where the dot is either placed on the center, it's either placed on the left or on to the right. What if the person places the dot more to the left of the I line? This shows that this person's gratitude or thought process or niceness or his courteousness, whatever he's being thoughtful about, was related to the past. This person who is having a dot in the ahead part of the line, it's on the right side of it, it shows that the person is more futuristic in his thoughtfulness. Let me give you an example. If you go to a restaurant and you had a meal and you really liked it, you you're absolutely happy and really pleased with the way the meal was tasting and it was so fulfilling. If this is the dot position, if it's more to the left, you'll wonder why didn't you come before to the restaurant. You'll always have a thought related to the past, thinking why didn't I come before to the restaurant, or if I came to the restaurant before, why didn't I order this meal. So you are having thoughtfulness, but this is related to the past. If your dot was in the right side, then you would think about next time coming to the same restaurant and having the same meal. You think about the future. You may think about getting your family in and having the same meal so that they could enjoy the good taste of it. So the dot of the letter I on a horizontal position shows you the timing of the thoughtfulness. This dot of the I is thoughtfulness. The horizontal position of this dot shows you the timing of the thought based on this thoughtfulness. If you combine these two concepts, your analysis will be quite interesting and really deep. You'll also know how to deal with this person. If you are in a hotel industry or if you are in a catering business, just a glance at the person's dotting of the I can really give you clues about how he relates to your food or your environment or your hotel, your restaurant, and it can actually give you a big boost in your business. Another thing about this is it helps in managing relationships. If your spouse, if your brother, sister, some relative of yours, some friend of yours is able to put the dots of the eyes in a slightly different position, you'll get a clue about how to deal with them a bit better. Recent research has shown that when a woman is pregnant and there are two heartbeats inside her, or three, if the person has only one child or twins or even more, the multiple heartbeats can be actually seen in the fluctuation of the dotting of the eye. If the mother is happy, the child also feels the happiness. If the mother is thinking of the past, then the child also feels that. If the mother is thinking of the future, or she is having coarse movement activities, or she is being creative, all these can be seen in the handwriting. So, right now, I am not able to go too deep into how this letter I or dotting can represent a child's health or the woman's health during pregnancy. But in future videos or during my teaching sessions, I will be explaining this in details. I hope you understood today's topic, and it's really exciting to see how the letter I, which is so simple, can show us so much information. Just to recap, the letter I has two parts, the standing line, this is vertical, and this is a dot. If this line is written downwards, it's pure taking. If it's written upwards, it's pure giving. The dot shows thoughtfulness. This extra stroke, which comes at the beginning of the letter I, it's called a pre-thought. This helps the person to have a pre-thought before taking. This makes the person a bit more courteous, and actually it's easier to deal with these people in the long run. The next one is this one where the person is trying to be a little creative when he's supposed to simply take. Yes, in a party situation or in a gathering or in a celebration, these people are amazing. But in a simple scenario of home and you just want to have a meal, these people can tend to complicate things a bit. The I dot is in the upper zone. It shows thoughtfulness. It shows a kind of a thoughtful point of view, or it also shows a consideration of what you've taken. So the sequence of the line and the dot will show you whether the person is taking and then thinking, or whether he's thinking and then taking. The vertical position of the dot will show you the health of the nervous system of the person and the preference of their activities. This dot will show you the preference towards minute things, fine movement of the hand, which can be used while using a microscope or playing carom or even knitting. This is for coarse movement, and this dot in the middle is somewhere between these two, which shows a balance between the coarse movement and the fine movement. The vertical position is over here, and now this is the horizontal position, which shows whether the person's thoughtfulness has been more related to the past or to the future. If it is in the center, that means his thoughts are in the now, in the present tense. Thank you for watching this video, and we will be back with the letter J very soon. Do subscribe to our videos so that you can get the free updates and more knowledge on what letters mean. And there's a lot of information coming up soon, and we will be looking forward to explaining even capitals couple of videos down the line. Thank you for watching and have a good day.